The heavy doors of the Washington, D.C. federal courthouse groaned as they swung open, revealing Lieutenant Commander Ava Thorne in chains. Clad in an orange jumpsuit, she walked with the composure of a decorated warrior, not a disgraced soldier. The nation had watched her rise as the Navy SEAL's first black female sniper. Now, it watched her fall. Just 24 hours earlier, she had stood on the edge of history, minutes away from receiving the Medal of Honor. Now, she faced charges of espionage, treason, and national security violations. Cameras flashed. Protesters clashed outside. "Hero," they screamed. "Traitor," others shouted. The truth, however, was buried far beneath the noise. Inside, the marble courtroom echoed with murmurs. Ava's expression remained unreadable, disciplined, cold, distant. Her dark eyes scanned the crowd, taking in familiar and unfamiliar faces alike. Somewhere in the third row sat Marcus Stone and Jake Miller, her old SEAL teammates. Their jaws were clenched tight, disbelief etched in every line of their faces. "All rise," the bailiff barked. Judge Elaine Thompson entered, her black robe cutting through the tension like a blade. She glanced at Ava, and for a split second, her stern expression faltered. "This arraignment is now in session," she announced. "Lieutenant Commander Ava Thorne, you stand accused of leaking classified intelligence, compromising national security, and defying direct orders." Prosecutor Philip Mercer stood tall, his gray suit sharp, his tone sharper. "Your Honor, this woman, once a hero, betrayed her oath. She revealed top-secret data from Operation Crystal Dagger, a mission so classified it doesn't officially exist. We request she be denied bail." Behind the scenes, DOJ agent Camille Harris sat stiff in the gallery, her instincts gnawing at her. Something was off, too off. The evidence didn't align. The speed of the charges, the absence of military legal counsel, the way Ava had been cut off from her team. It all reeked of political orchestration that in a secure facility beneath the Pentagon 2 years earlier. Operation Crystal Dagger had been greenlit, so secret that even the Joint Chiefs weren't fully briefed. Ava had led a small SEAL unit to surveil a suspected terrorist compound in a remote desert region. But what they found wasn't a terrorist hub. It was a prison. Through her sniper scope, Ava had seen civilians, men, women, and children, held in cages, starved, trembling. "This isn't a base," she had whispered to her spotter, Chief Petty Officer Liam O'Connell. "It's a goddamn lab." Unbeknownst to her, O'Connell had already sent a message. A burner phone, a name, Black River, a private military contractor with covert ties to Ember, the rogue CIA-funded unit Ava had been assigned to monitor. In that moment, Ava's mission had been compromised from within. Back in the present, Judge Thompson peered over her glasses. "Lieutenant Commander Thorne, how do you plead?" The room froze. Ava said nothing. Her public defender, a young man clearly in over his head, nudged her gently. "You need to speak, Commander," he whispered. Still, Ava's lips stayed sealed. "Commander Thorne," the judge warned, her voice rising, "this court requires an answer." At that moment, the courtroom doors slammed open. Admiral Jonathan Vance stormed in, his medals glittering under fluorescent lights, his expression carved from stone. Gasps rippled through the crowd. "Your Honor, I request an immediate recess. New classified evidence has surfaced," he said, "and it cannot wait." Judge Thompson hesitated. "This is highly unusual." "So are the stakes," he replied. With a reluctant nod, she slammed her gavel. 30-minute recess. In the chaos, Ava finally turned her head. Her eyes met Vance's. No words passed, but something unspoken did. Camille Harris stood from her seat, her phone already in hand, dialing a number she never thought she'd need. As murmurs swelled, Ava's thoughts drifted. She remembered the night of the operation, how she defied orders, how she'd sent Stone and Miller to breach the Eastern Wall, how they'd found terrified children with IVs in their arms, how she'd realized that Operation Crystal Dagger wasn't just surveillance. It was cover for something darker, something un-American. They had evacuated 27 civilians under fire. 2 of Ava's men had been wounded. And afterward, nothing. No medals, no debrief, only silence. Then came the orders. Forget it happened. Bury it, disobey, and suffer the consequences. Now here she was, chains on her wrists, truth buried beneath redacted files. And someone inside her own ranks had sold her out. And still, she didn't regret it. But what she didn't yet know was that Black River wasn't finished, that O'Connell had survived the desert, and he had Ava's encrypted files, and he wasn't alone. Outside the courthouse, a man in a dark suit lit a cigarette, speaking softly into a secure earpiece. Confirm Ava Thorne is still contained. Phase 2 is green. A black SUV pulled up at the curb. Inside was something, or someone, that could change everything. And this time, no one would walk away untouched. At 0200 hours, the assault began with tactical precision. Team Bravo launched controlled explosions at the north perimeter, drawing the guards away, while Team Charlie secured the main building. Lieutenant Commander Ava Thorne and Chief Petty Officer O'Connell approached the southern entrance of the compound, eliminating 2 guards with silenced pistols before breaching the prison wing. "Cover me," Ava ordered, bypassing the electronic lock with practiced ease. Inside, they found 37 civilians, including 9 children, packed into filthy, makeshift cells. Many bore scars, evidence of experimentation. Monitoring chips, injection marks, and surgical wounds covered their fragile bodies. O'Connell stared in disbelief. "What the hell is this place?" "It's not a prison. It's a lab," Ava said. "Start evacuating them." Toward the back, Ava discovered a sealed room. Breaking in, she found monitors displaying molecular diagrams, test results, and casualty statistics. She quickly downloaded all data onto a secure drive. "Commander," Stone's voice came over the radio. "We got incoming south side. At least 2 dozen. Not Ember. Black River. Black River." A name Ava never wanted to hear again. A private military contractor with dark, deep ties. They weren't supposed to be anywhere near this mission. "Get the civilians out now," she ordered. As Ava exited the lab, O'Connell stood in her path, weapon drawn, eyes cold. "I can't let you take that drive." Ava froze. "What are you doing?" "Following my real orders," he said calmly. "Black River owns this place." Vance knew more than he let on. "You were never supposed to uncover this. You're betraying your oath." "I'm doing what I need to survive." He lunged. Ava reacted on instinct. The fight was fast, brutal. O'Connell was strong, but Ava was faster. She disarmed him and knocked him unconscious. Blood dripped from her brow, but the drive was secure. "O'Connell is compromised," she radioed. "Consider him hostile." Outside, missiles hit the compound. Flames lit the sky. Amid the chaos, Ava spotted a young girl frozen in fear. Without hesitation, she shielded her from a blast and carried her to the evac point. As helicopters lifted off, Ava looked back at the compound, now engulfed in flames. She knew she had defied orders, and that the price would be high. Back in Washington, D.C., Prosecutor Mercer painted Ava as a rogue agent. Disobedient, dangerous, and responsible for an international incident. But behind closed doors, Admiral Vance presented the classified footage of the raid. Judge Thompson ordered a secret session and cleared the courtroom. There, Ava finally spoke. They weren't enemies. They were test subjects. Civilians. Children. Project Ember wasn't about national security. It was human experimentation. Camille Harris from the DOJ had already seen the signs. The edited files, the rapid indictment, the pressure from higher-ups. It all made sense now. Sterling, the senator who funded Ember, was working hand-in-hand with Black River. Camille delivered a USB containing full footage from the raid. It showed Ava risking her life to save civilians. Judge Thompson watched in silence, her face pale by the end. Jake Miller and Marcus Stone came forward. "We took an oath to the Constitution, not to war criminals," Stone testified. Even Ramiro Garcia, the team's translator, arrived, beaten but alive, thanks to Camille's intervention. His testimony confirmed everything Ava had said. O'Connell, racked with guilt, confessed. Black River had offered him money to keep the mission quiet. He admitted to betraying the team. The courtroom fell into stunned silence. The truth unraveled fast. Senator Sterling resigned in disgrace. Black River was investigated. Project Ember was shut down permanently. Admiral Vance publicly acknowledged his failure to act sooner. Ava refused a quiet pardon. "My silence isn't for sale," she told them. She demanded justice for the survivors instead. She later testified at the United Nations, speaking before world leaders. "These civilians were tortured under our flag. The truth matters, even when it hurts." The world listened. Months later, Ava stepped away from the spotlight. She declined book deals, speaking tours, and awards. Instead, she began teaching young SEAL candidates, instilling in them not just skill, but honor. One morning, a small letter arrived in the mail. It was from a 9-year-old girl in Canada. "Dear Commander Thorne, my name is Layla. You saved me when I was 7. I live with a new family now. My teacher asked who my hero is. I said you. I want to be brave like you." Ava smiled as she folded the letter. She had been a soldier, a leader, and a fugitive. But to Layla, and to the others she saved, she would always be something more, a hero who refused to stay silent.